Welcome, everyone, to this special explainer from Revival Waves of Glory Ministries. Today, we are diving deep into Bill Vincent's powerful work, Breakthrough Anointing, and we're going to be exploring what it truly means to walk in God's authority and favor.
All right, so before we jump into the deep end, it's really important to know where this powerful teaching comes from. So let's start by introducing the source for today's deep dive. So what we're looking at today comes from Breakthrough Anointing by Bill Vincent. Now, he's a minister with more than 30 years of experience in spiritual awakening, and he's the founder of Revival Waves of Glory Ministries. And the book itself has a really interesting origin. It actually takes his live sermons and transforms them into writing, refining them so that the message can be absorbed on an even deeper level. Now, the book kicks off by tapping into a feeling that I'm pretty sure is going to feel incredibly familiar to a lot of us. It's that sense of being under this constant, relentless pressure. You know that feeling when you think you're finally about to get ahead and then bam, another challenge just pops up out of nowhere. The author paints this picture that is just so relatable. You're working hard, you're believing for good things, you get so close to that place of peace, whether it's with your finances or just in your life, and then, all of a sudden, some new obstacle appears. It's that frustrating loop where it feels like a real, lasting breakthrough is always just out of reach. And the book puts a name to this feeling, a very specific one. It's like having a target on your back. Have you ever felt that? It's that weird, unsettling experience where people just seem to be negative or hostile towards you, and you can't even figure out why. You're just trying to do your best, and you're met with all this resistance. And this isn't some vague idea. The book breaks it down into real, everyday stuff. Feeling like a doormat for people, facing these weird, out-of-the-blue attacks, maybe even from your own family, or that feeling of dread when you think about going to work because the atmosphere is just so heavy. But here's the turn. Here's the key. The author says this isn't random. It's actually a sign that you are on the very edge of something huge. Okay, so if that's the problem, this constant draining fight, then what's the solution? The good news is the book doesn't just point out the issue and leave us there. It introduces this incredibly powerful concept, an answer designed to completely reverse that spiritual pressure. And here it is, the central idea, the breakthrough anointing. It's defined as more than just a little encouragement. We're talking about a full-on divine intervention, a tangible shift in your spiritual reality. It's described as receiving a garment of favor from God that doesn't just help you cope with your problems, it actively reverses them and literally takes that target off your back. And get this is huge. The book makes it super clear. This breakthrough isn't some far-off, someday hope that you just wish for. No, it's positioned as something that's available right now, an accessible reality for today, even for tonight. And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the whole promise of the message. The narrative drives home that God is a God of suddenlies, of turnarounds. The very situations that look like total losses, the attacks that feel like you've been defeated, those are the exact things that God is ready to take and flip for your good. But before that big breakthrough can fully happen, the book explains there's a process we have to go through. And it's not about just sitting back and waiting. It's actually a period of active preparation, of being strengthened for the incredible growth that's just around the corner. The author shares this personal sense of feeling stretched, like a rubber band pulled tight. And at first, that sounds kind of painful, right? But think about it. A rubber band is only useful when it's stretched. That tension is actually what's preparing to launch you forward. It has a divine purpose. So according to the book, these trials aren't there to break you. They're catalyst. They bring stuff to the surface that needs to be dealt with. And as you face it, your faith is tested, and that produces perseverance. The key, though, is to let that perseverance finish its work. Don't cut the process short. Because when you do, the result is spiritual maturity. You become complete, not lacking anything. It's such a powerful way to reframe hardship. There is so much more to unpack here. If you're wanting to go even deeper with these teachings, you can find a ton of information and connect with the ministry by visiting their website. So you might be asking, okay, I get the perseverance part, but what do I do? How do I participate in this? Well, the book points to an incredibly practical and powerful tool that every single one of us has, and we use it every day. It all comes down to our words. And this is where it gets really real. The book draws a sharp line in the sand. On one side, you've got words that wither, that kill your dreams, saying things like, I'm broke, or I can't do anything right. That kind of talk is said to literally invite failure. But on the other side, you have words that build, speaking life over your finances, speaking directly to the mountains in your life, and calling your children what you want them to be, not what they might look like in the moment. It's a daily choice with very real consequences. To really drive this point home, the book uses this incredible biblical example. It shows both sides of the coin. It references Jesus speaking to a fig tree, which then withered, showing the destructive power of words. But right after that, it brings up the amazing promise that words spoken in faith can uproot the biggest, most deeply rooted problems in our lives. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. You go from that constant struggle, you move through that stretching process of trials, all while you're harnessing the power of your words. So what's the payoff? The result is a whole new level of spiritual authority and divine favor on your life. And the outcome? It's a total 180. That target on your back, it doesn't just disappear, it's reversed. Instead of drawing negativity, you radiate a favor that people can actually see. The things that used to trip you up, the stuff that would send you spiraling, just loses its power over you. You go from being a victim of circumstances to a powerful co-laborer with God. And if there's one quote that just perfectly wraps up this whole idea of breakthrough, it's this one. It's the ultimate promise of reversal. Every single thing that was meant to hurt you, to make you fall, to get you off track, or to make you quit, that is the very raw material God will use to turn things around for your good. And once again, if this message is really hitting home for you and you want to explore more, Bill Vincent has a ton of resources. We're talking over 125 books and so much more, and you can find it all at the Revival Ways of Glory Ministries website. So as we wrap this up, we want to leave you with this final thought from the book, a question to really chew on. It's a challenge, really. A challenge to look back at every single thing in your life that you thought was a failure or a loss, and to see it through this new lens of divine reversal and incredible potential.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Dive Podcast.